It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, 2 outstanding elementary schools here to play our game. Let's meet them right now. First, from Forestheights Elementary, would you please say hello to Tamaya Bell, Kason Johnson, and Sabrina Rodriguez. And from Perrywood Elementary, here they are, Kamari Short, Asosa Amufwa, and Jonathan Batts. And now, here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to the difficulty of the question. Tougher questions on the far right, 15, 20, 25, toughest question of them all. Easiest questions on the far left, 5 and 10 points. We start our teams out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And get to the 2 rounds. One of these 2 schools will come back to play Patuxent Elementary for the chance to move on in our competition. Let's make sure everything works before we go any farther. Forestheights, Kason, would you try your buzzer? Thank you. Good luck to you, to Sabrina and Tamaya. And Asosa, would you try yours at the Perrywood team? Green looks and sounds good. Kamari, Jonathan, good luck to you. You guys ready? Yes. Let's do it. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically F before P. So Forestheights and Kason, let's play the bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, because their tail is so flexible and so stabilizing, this most popular marsupial in Australia is said to have 5 legs. Perrywood?
Kangaroo.
A kangaroo, yeah, it's like a 5th leg back there. You got it. That's the way to start us out. Go.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, despite its name, poison oak is a shrub and not one of these. Perrywood?
A tree.
A tree, that's right. It sounds like it's a tree, but it's not. Good team playing. I like that you're talking to each other. Sabrina and Tamaya, talk to Kason. 3 heads better than 1. Go green.
Let's get physical for 5. Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, yet again recently, we had a close call here on Earth when one of these heavenly bodies that's normally between... Kason.
An asteroid?
An asteroid, absolutely. Normally found between Mars and Jupiter. Thank you for Tamaya. Good answer. Go red.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, this part of your body is said to get rubberized when you stretch to look at an accident while you're driving down the highway. You're said to have a rubber what? Asosa.
Rubber neck.
A rubber neck, absolutely right. The guy on the radio says there are a lot of rubberneckers out there trying to see what's going on. You're listening really well. Go green.
Dateline Science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, if you saw the movie, you know that there was no Fujita scale to rate all those sharks falling on New York City, Perrywood.
Sharknado.
Sharknado, yeah. That was a lousy movie, wasn't it? Oh, so corny. Fujita scale normally measures tornadoes, but they didn't have it for Sharknado. All right, 70 to 55, advantage green.
Potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. You know, millions of years ago, it was sap and resin that trapped insects. but it was this black goo that trapped the, yes, Perrywood. Tar that trapped the saber-toothed tigers and all those woolly mammoths, the tar pits. Okay. All right. Come on, Kason. A little faster on that buzzer here. Sabrina and Tamaya, let's help them out some more. Asosa, you're on a roll. Go.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, what's the name of the bivalve case that peas and beans grow their seeds in? Forest Heights?
A pod?
A pod, yeah, like 2 peas in a pod. All right, good. You're back in the game. Go, Red.
Soup rate for 10. Soup rate for 10.
Soup rate for 10 points. This is a multiple choice question. Look at the monitor. It's also a visual question. Aren't they cute? These are baby black-footed ferrets. You know, baby black-footed ferrets and baby beavers and baby foxes are all known as joeys, cubs, or kits. Which of those 3 Forest Heights? Talk to your teammates here.
Kits?
Kits, absolutely right. Yeah, joeys are little marsupials and cubs are like cats. So yeah, process of elimination, you did it right. Good, go. Kason.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, sounds like a difficult question, but it's not. Scientists have made 3-dimensional models of DNA on a tiny scale, and the models they have made are using this same popular Japanese folding paper method. Perrywood?
Origami.
Origami, yeah, they use origami to make that spiral staircase that is known as the DNA. All right, good answer. Go, Green.
Dateline science for 10. Dateline for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, you know, back in the late 1980s, long before you were born, we were all worried about a hole in this layer of the atmosphere. Perrywood?
The ozone layer?
The ozone layer, absolutely right. Thank you, Jonathan. Now it's been discovered that that hole is getting smaller. That's good for us, protects us from the sun's rays. Go, Green.
Let's get physical for 10. Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, those big airships, those dirigibles that are flying right now are filled with this second lightest of all gases. Perrywood?
Helium?
Helium, yeah. And the helium expands and contracts during the night and day, so they have to make sure that those blimps can stay airborne. What a good first round we had. Great players here. Let's check that score. Forest Heights 75, Perrywood 105. We'll be back with the second round of Science Bowl in just a moment.
I wanted to start a business that I was passionate about, something I absolutely enjoyed and believed in. I was doing the corporate grinds, and I kind of wanted to do something a little more green. My name's Steve Allen. I run Rad Cab in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We do pedicabs and mobile outdoor advertising. I love being social, talking to people.
A lot of confusing stuff when you start a business. When I go in and talk to my store mentor, he really helps me sort it all out, and we just get organized. And when I go home, I feel confident about what's going on. It really feels amazing to create jobs here in my city.
It's incredibly awesome. I love to show it off.
If you get a solid foundation for your business laid, everything else falls in place. SCORE has absolutely been the most invaluable resource that I've had from day one. For free? I could not imagine doing anything else.
Get your free business mentor at score.org.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. What great playing we've seen thus far. We're headed into the second round, but let me first let you meet some of our players. They're all great students. Let's go over to Forest Heights. Only the second year in our 29-year history that we've had Forest Heights here. We're so happy you're playing our game. Who's your principal down there, Casey?
Dr. Brookover.
Dr. Brookover. And he is the one who said we want to get our school on that show. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Hinton.
Miss Henson, and she's out there. She's been working very hard with you. And do you have any alternates on your team?
Yeah, Donovan Simpkins and Jamari Champion.
Wonderful. We'll bring them out in just a few moments. Was there somebody else, Sabrina?
Yeah.
Who's
Natalia Hernandez.
Wonderful. So there are 3 of those all kind of a shadow team. Thank you. Tell me what's really great about Forest Heights, Casey.
What's great is that we have really good principal and lots of good teachers there that help us.
That's wonderful. Yeah, everything starts at the top. They're all concerned about you, and that means you're going to have just a great experience. What do you want to do someday?
Well, I want to be a scientist because I really like science, but the science I want to do is marine biologist or a biologist.
Wow, so you already have a specialty out there, so I think that's great. You know exactly where you're headed. And you are a safety patrol. I see the sash there, so you're a responsible guy. You're a good captain. Good to have you here today. Sabrina, also safety patrol. Where do you patrol? Where in the school?
Well, since I'm the lieutenant, I actually just do inspections mostly and keep the patrols in order.
So you're an officer, so you have an awful lot of responsibility. Why did you want to be on the show today, Sabrina?
I thought it'd be a good chance to learn more new things.
Absolutely, and you're showing us that you know a lot already, and the teachers who selected you obviously saw the same thing. What do you want to do professionally someday?
I want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, we were talking about businesses that she might want to get into, and bakery was one of them, right? Do you bake now at all?
Yeah, I make muffins usually, cupcakes too.
Wow. And Kaysen, you also told me you wanted to be a cook, so we got the cupcakes, we got the omelets, we've got the pancakes. Tamaya, what are you going to bake for us? Are you a cook at all?
No.
No, that's all right. Tell me what you like to do.
I like to sew and do gymnastics mostly, but I like to do a whole bunch of science experiments.
Yeah, and I know you're interested in science as well, aren't you? You'd like to be a scientist. Have you narrowed down a field like Kaysen has as yet?
No.
No, you have plenty of time to do that. Nice to have you on the show. Let's go over to Perrywood, a perennial contender. We always love to see Perrywood here. And Asosa, who's your principal?
Miss Poole.
Miss Poole, out there pulling for you today. And who is your sponsor?
Miss Henson.
Miss Henson, and she is, she's been associated with Science Bowl for a while now, and she's doing it solo this year, so we're so thankful to her for continuing the Perrywood tradition. Any alternates on your team?
Jalen Betts and Anissa Shrestha.
Wonderful, we'll bring them out in just a few moments. Tell me about Perrywood. Best thing?
I think the best thing at Perrywood is, you know, what you get to do there.
Yeah.
Like, we have a bunch of these events, like, if you get perfect attendance for 1 quarter, we have this perfect attendance dance.
Yeah.
And we get to spend 30 minutes out of class to do it.
Wow, so that's something to look forward to, isn't it? Yeah, it's a reward for being a good student, so give me a break, teacher. Let me get out and do a little dance here for a while. I like that a lot. Thanks for sharing that. What do you want to do someday? You're the video game man, aren't you?
Yeah. I either want to work for Sony or Microsoft or be a programmer for them.
I can see you doing that. You got a good head on your shoulders, and you're a good captain, and I know you're going to be successful. Keep it up. And Jonathan, the batsman over there, he told me he wants to be a millionaire. And I said, how are you going to make that $1 million? You don't know. Maybe it's just going to appear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a nice attitude. Why'd you want to be on the show?
I wanted to be on the show because normally, sometimes at school, some of my friends.
Have they been on the show before?
I have a few, like Juliana Woods.
Yeah.
And Maya Virgil.
So you know people who've been on the show before, and here you are, and you're getting a chance to do it yourself. And I know you like video games as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you want to do the same thing like Asosa? Do you want to be a programmer?
No, I actually want to work for Mojang, the creators of Minecraft.
Wonderful. All right. So you got a plan. You got a plan. And Kamari, you're not into the video games at all. You're interested in animals.
Yeah.
This young lady has fish, and I know they're in good hands with you.
Yeah.
And you have an empathy for dogs and cats, and they probably feel the same thing. You have a nice attitude. You have a calming presence, Kamari, and that would be really good around animals. What do you do in your spare time?
I play on my computer, I talk to my friends, and I play the violin.
A violin. Wow. So I know the kind of discipline you have. That takes a lot of practice. You're doing a real nice job today. Keep it up. Let's get back. You're welcome. Let's get back to the game. 105 Perrywood, 75 Forestheights. Lots of points to give away. Last correct answer came from Asosa. Let's play the game again. Go.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, these body parts that help you move your bones can be atrophied or hypertrophied if you exercise very little or an awful lot. What are those body parts? Isosa.
Your muscles.
Your muscles, absolutely right. Good, go. People who take steroids, their muscles hypertrophy. If they're diseased, sometimes they can shrink. Go green, good answer. All right, all the 15, 20, and 25-point questions are left. They get increasingly more difficult. Put on your thinking caps, Sabrina, and to my member, talk to him more. Go, Isosa.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, there are certain kinds of ants that go to flowers and they cut off the stamens, which means that flower can no longer self what? It can't self what, Kason?
You have it. Say it. It can't self. Love God.
It can't
Can't feed itself.
self-regenerate.
Feed itself.
Not quite regenerate, no. If the ant takes the stamens out of the flower, that flower can no longer self what, Asosa?
Reproduce.
Judges? Not quite, no. Self-pollinate? Self-pollinate, because the stamen's the male part with the pollen. If it's gone, you know, the female part says, okay, no pollen here. Okay, go green, no points.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points. Teams, one of the all-time favorite horror movies had what same one-word title as the second stage in the metamorphosis of a butterfly? Forestheights.
Caterpillar.
All right. What is another name for a caterpillar? What stage is that?
Larva.
That's what I want to hear. Larva was the name. Good. Thank you, judges, too, for being prepared for that. Go red.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, there is an opera, and you'll say, oh, I don't know any opera. You don't have to. There's an opera named Der Fledermaus. Fledermaus is German for what we say in English, Flittermouse. Because in England, at one time, they called these airborne mammals flittermice. Perrywood.
Seagulls?
Not seagulls, no. Forestheights, what kind of airborne mammals were known in England as flittermice?
Flying squirrels.
Bats. Bats is what we're looking for. And poor Jonathan is over there. He is the Batman, too. I thought you were going to get this one. All right, 90 to 115, go Forestheights. Kason, pick one.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15. That was a good try, Sabrina, by the way. Body systems for 15 points. You know, if you lose a tooth, you put it under your pillow here in this country and you hope for a reward. In Japan, if a child loses a tooth, they put the tooth on the roof, hoping that the new tooth will grow in straight and thus avoid having to go to what kind of dentist, Forestheights?
Orthodontist?
An orthodontist, absolutely right. Sabrina, thank you for coming through. Exactly right. To straighten your teeth. Look at that. 115, 105, almost a tie score. You're coming back, Forestheights. Go, Kason.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, we're talking about acronyms here. An SUV is a sport utility vehicle. We know that. An SAV describes plants that grow underwater. So SAV stands for submerged, aquatic. What's the V? Forestheights. What'd you think?
Submerged, aquatic.
Plants that grow underwater, submerged, aquatic, what?
Vertebrae?
Not vertebrae, good try. Remember, it's a plant question, Perrywood. SUV, sport utility vehicle. SAV, plants that grow underwater, submerged, aquatic, what's the V? Vegetation. Vegetation. Oh, it was on the tip of your tongue. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Go red again.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Boy, this sounds like a tough question, but it's not. Get ready, because everyone's going to jump. A substance like a silicone crystal that lets electricity flow pretty efficiently between a metal and an insulator is known as a isosa.
Conductor.
Judges? Yes, a conductor, a semiconductor. I was going to give you the semi part. Good. Go. Green.
Potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, forensic scientists have found out that a long-dead king of England ate a lot of birds, ate a lot of protein because they found this N-initialed chemical in his bones associated with protein. What is that N, Kaysen?
Nutrients.
Not nutrients. Good try. What is the N-initialed chemical that is associated with protein that they found in that long-dead king's bones?
Nitrogen.
Yes, nitrogen. Good comeback. Go green. You guys are cooking here. Go.
Dateline for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. I know you know this one. I know everybody knows it. Get ready. This famous Polish woman scientist, Perrywood.
Madame Curie.
Madame Curie, absolutely right. I was going to tell you she won 2 Nobel Prizes, but died because she was poisoned with all the radium she worked with. Go again, green.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. It's a picture. Everybody look at the monitor, please. All right, this is Zoo parade for 25. This creature right here is a tardigrade. Scientists call it a water bear. It's not a bear at all. It's actually related to what group of invertebrates like insects?
Parasite?
Not a parasite, not a parasite. Good try. What group of creatures that includes crabs and insects and spiders is actually what this animal is related to?
I pass it to Jonathan.
Come on, Jonathan.
Shellfish?
Not shellfish. Good try. Arthropods. Arthropods like insects. Good try, both teams. No 25 points. Still have a commanding lead. Go Perrywood.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams in Florida, oftentimes we hear about these giant sinkholes developing. Houses and cars just sink into the earth. That happens because what kind of rock is most of Florida made of? Because it was underwater for so many years. What is the name of that rock that gives way, Perrywood?
Sedimentary rock.
What kind?
Slate.
Not slate. Good try. Thanks to Sosa, we now know that Florida is underlain by a kind of sedimentary rock made up of calcium carbonate that gives way, causing these sinkholes. Can you name that kind of sedimentary rock? Remember, Florida was underwater. Limestone. Limestone. Go again, green. Go again, green.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Team scientists are warning pregnant women to avoid eating certain fish like tuna because it has traces of this chemical in. It is the only metal that is liquid. Forestheights. What did you want to tell me?
The only metal that is liquid?
Yes? Some of that is being found in this fish.
Say it. I don't have an idea.
Perrywood, can you tell me the only kind of metal that is liquid, traces of which are found in tuna, which is why pregnant women should not eat it because you could get poisoned?
Mercury.
Mercury, absolutely right. Good. Go. Green.
I knew it.
You got it.
Potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Multiple choice question. Teams, if you are an entomophagist, are you afraid of snakes? Do you love birds? Or do you eat bugs? Perrywood.
Eat bugs?
You eat bugs, yeah. Entomophagist, yes. Entomology is the study of insects. That was your association. Again, please, Perrywood.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for
20.
20. Judges, that was the limestone question. That is gone. 25 is available if you wish that one.
Potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25. All right, teams. Don't give up on me, Forestheights. Stick in there. Come on, guys. Listen carefully to this. What same word means releasing an orphaned hawk from an artificial nest and breaking into someone's computer program? Perrywood?
Hacking.
Hacking, yeah, that's it. Good. Green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams. John Lasseter, who directed the Disney movie Frozen, gave Elsa her freezing cursed power because his own son was cursed with what common sugar metabolic disease? Perrywood?
Diabetes.
Diabetes, yes. John Laster's son is diabetic. That buzzer has rung. We've come to the end of the game. It looks like Perrywood is moving on. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.
Going to school pregnant, riding the bus, that was hard. You just have all the stares and you have all the questions, and even little kids make you nervous just staring at you. When you get pregnant, all the stuff just goes through your mind. Abortion, adoption, keeping him. You're his mom. You're supposed to be the one taking care of him and raising him. But when you're 15 and pregnant, you can't do it without support. I wanted to give him a better life. When I found out I was pregnant, I don't know, just a light hit me in my heart, just saying adoption is what you need to do. I really have a simple dream. I just want to get my nursing career, get married, and have a family. When I get pregnant again, give them a better life. I'm Miranda, and I chose adoption.
Welcome back to Science Ball. 6 outstanding young players here today. We had some tough questions, but boy, they came through. We are proud of each and every one of them. I'm sure you were hard-pressed to keep up with them today. Our final tally today is Forestheights 105, Perrywood 245. What a game you guys had. Jonathan, our Batman, Asosa, Kamari, and back there, wave please, Anissa and Jalen and Miss Henson. Congratulations. We will see you against Patuxent. Forestheights, I don't want to see any tears over here. I want to see some big smiles. You played a super game. Tamaya and Kaysen and Sabrina. And look at all the alternates back there. Wave please, Natalia and Jabari and Shayla and Demaya and Milton and Miss Hinton. Did I miss anybody? Donovan, I did not mean to leave you out. Make sure you pat these guys on the back. They played a great game here today. We're proud of Forestheights, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on the Science Bowl. Bye-bye now.